Hello and welcome to a Bergkamp Wonderland, an Arsenal podcast. I'm Gimli, and tonight my guests are, first up, our modern day Moomin with boobs and everything. It's Danny the GFP.
I find you irrehensible,
Repulsive.
moribund and offensive.
I find you rotund.
Do you?
Yep.
Oh, that's lovely. Does that mean cuddly?
Or in the words of Stray, you is fat! You're fat! Shall we move on?
Best
Good.
do.
Next up, gentleman and squire, it's Sir Geoff Arsenal. Hello, Geoff.
Gimli, how the devil are you, sir?
Oh, not too bad. I'm a bit down in the dumps this week. All my
Really?
puppies, bar one, gone.
Oh,
Gone off to find new homes. I've only got one left.
Oh, well, you've got the missus, though, mate. That's the main thing, isn't it?
Can I have the puppies back?
What about, is it wet in Wales or not?
Of course it is. It's fucking a
No,
day of
do
the
you
week.
know what? We've had 4 days of lovely sunshine.
You're
Yeah.
joking.
No, straight up. Ennick Kate, we've had 4 days of lovely sunshine. We have. See? She's there. She knows.
I don't think I've ever been to Wales when it hasn't rained.
You want to pop into my castle and I'll make you a cup of Bovril.
Even the cup finals in May that we had, I think some of them pissed down the rain as well.
Oh,
Oh,
the one
no,
against
always
Southampton. That was fucking awful.
It's not good. Right, shall I introduce my final guest? And finally, from a sir to a lord, it's Mr. Lord Hillwood, or as we know him, Steve. Hello, Steve.
Hello, Gim. How you doing, mate? All right. Greetings
Love.
from Warsaw, everybody.
Yes, lovely to have you back. What's the weather doing your end of the world?
Very strange. We've had the warmest spring on record in about 50 years, and it was 10 degrees today. And my front room has just been violated by the sight of Middlesex Hotspurs on the television. Deeply unpleasant.
Change your channel. Right then, as always, we'll start by going straight over to Danny for all the scores across the board, a loan watch, and an injury update. We're giving them too much, Danny.
Oh, it's way too much.
Take some of it back.
I think last time I did this, I said it all way too quickly and messed some of it up, so I'll do it a little bit slower this time. Damien Martinez, Wolverhampton Wanderers, they've gone from 12th to 15th. They lost 3-0 away to Brentford, and he was yet again an unused sub. I've had a little bit of a delve. It was 17 games ago, league games ago, that he came off injured, and he has not played a single game since. What's the point in being there? Nothing. Ashley Maitland-Niles,
Conservative.
lost 1-0 at home to Hull City. He was not in the squad. Ipswich have now lost 3 league games in a row, and they've dropped from 8th to 10th. Chupa Apcom and Isaac Hayden. Hull, shut your face. Hull are still first. They won 1-0 away at Ipswich. Chupa came on and played for the last 22 minutes for top goal scorer Abel Hernandez, who was playing in the Giroud position. Isaac was not in the squad again. That's a bit strange. Don't know why. Super John Terrell, future Venezuelan, Bulgarian, and where else? Spanish. No, he's not Spanish. Where else can I have it? Irish.
Spanish.
There you go. He can be one of those 3 legends. He's got dodgy passports. He knows a bloke at FIFA, so he can play for whoever he wants. Probably turn out to play for Wales.
Jesus wept.
There you go.
Really don't. You just don't care this feature anymore, do you?
I do. It's good.
Is this a joke to you?
Shut your face, for have you murdered?
Take it seriously, then. Don't do a fucking half-assed job. We are a Bergkamp Wonderland podcast.
I spent half hour doing
You're not
this.
Mo Hader.
Oi,
Pick up your ideas.
I didn't have to come in with someone holding my hand. Right.
Escorted to your chair.
That's it. He came on for the last 26 minutes in the 1-0 home win over the mighty Bolton Wanderers, and he played in the Erzul hole. He's having a fantastic season. Wellington, the boot Silver. He played in that game as well. He came on with 6 minutes to left, and he come on for Jay Spearing, who was playing in a kind of Ramsey role in midfield. So I don't know if he replaced him and then played in a different position. Bolton have gone up in the league then from 24th to 23rd, and the team that have replaced them at bottom of the league have Yaya, so no goals there. Charlton lost 2-1 away to Preston. Yaya came on for the last 11 minutes for Marco Motta, who was playing in the Ox Campbell right-wing kind of malarkey. The Mystery of Glenn Kamara, which needs to be a book, or a film, or a play, in League One for Southend United. Now, Glenn hasn't been in the squad or anywhere near it for the last 3 games, which is a little bit wonky. No idea why. Trying to find out information about this is impossible. Southend went to Burton Albion, top of the league, and they beat them 3-1. No, they're at home. They're at Southend. So Southend are still 7th. No idea what is going on with Glenn Kamara. If you're listening, Glenn, let us know you're still alive. Just knock once for yes,
He
or
won't
twice
be.
for no. Isn't he?
No.
It might be a man of
He
taste.
told me he's not.
Oh, this podcast might be huge in Iceland. My mum went there. It's
Probably
wonderful.
not.
Another one who seems to have gone missing, Gideon's LLM.
No, 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 no.
No.
No, 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 no.
No.
No, no, no.
Rangers are still first, and they're doing quite well in the Cup, but he's an unused sub in the 1-0 away win at the mighty, the world-conquering Queen of the South.
No.
That's 3 games in a row he has been an unused sub, so I've done a little bit of delving. He seems to have lost his spot to Jason Holt and or Harry Forrester, same thing, who Rangers bought in the January transfer window. So if they're not going to play him, you bloody give him back, you bloody...
I thought he was doing really well up there, though. Like, scoring goals and assisting, and he looked really bright.
He's not scored any. He's got quite a few assists. I think he's got about 6 or 7 assists. So, I don't know. If there's anybody Rangers...
I know, but it is a worse league than what Chris plays in, for fuck's sake.
Well, Chris's mighty Pirates would be romping away with that league. Right, over to Italy, Washek Szczesny, Roma. They're still 4th in the league. They beat my beloved Palermo 5-0 at home. Less said about that, the better. Over to France, Mathieu Debuchy, the New York International. That's not even a thing, is it? For Bordeaux, that was it. They've dropped from 9th to 10th because they drew 0-0 at home to Nice. And he played 82 minutes and then was substituted off and away.
Hashtag the Debuchy effect.
That's it. Right, under-21s didn't play. The under-18s, put your fingers in your ears, people. Lost 4-0 away at Spurs. Move on, season over, cancel it. Now, the ladies' season is coming up soon, so I've just got a little bit about the ladies, because we've not done anything in ages. No other news yet, apart from they played Bayern Munich away. They won 3-1 a couple of weeks ago. Next game is in the Cup on the 20th of March, and then the season kicks off on the 23rd of March with a trip to Reading Ladies. Pre-season player news. Player coach Kelly Smith has signed a new contract. She's now 37. I think that's more of a coaching than a playing role. Plus, 23-year-old Jordan Nobbs has signed a new contract. She was England's vice-captain at last year's World Cup finals in Canada Land. I don't know
what, with a name like Jordan?
Jordan, yes.
Well, that's a lad's name.
You tell the bird from page 3 that.
What, Katie?
Yeah. Right. A few other players have signed new deals too. Not going to list them. We've bought some decent players. A 26-year-old German international defender, Josephine Henning from PSG. She has 26 caps for Germany. We have also bought 24-year-old goal-scoring midfielder Danielle Van der Donk. Now, that's a name and a half. Who has 45 caps for Holland. And we got her from Kopperbergs, the people who make the pear cider, and or Gothenburg. I think it's a joint team.
No, that's Rothenburg.
Is it?
The ones that make the cigarettes, yeah. So it's cider and cigarettes.
Oh, sounds like an album that Oasis would make. England defender Farah Williams has joined Arsenal from Liverpool Ladies. This 32-year-old is England's most capped player of all time throughout the known and unknown universe, having passed Rachel Yankee's record of 129 appearances for her country in August last year. She now has 148 caps, but only one head to put them on, so it must be really confusing. Yeah, so we've got her. So that's really good. It's the equivalent of signing, I don't know, who's I'm not going to even think about it. Maybe Beckham at his when he broke all those records. So she's only 32. She'll do well for us. We have also bought 20-year-old forward Katie Maccabee from Shelbourne in Dublin. She has 6 Irish caps. 31-year-old keeper Siobhan Chamberlain has fucked off to Liverpool. She's only been with us 2 years, played 2 games. Never mind, won't be missed. 20-year-old youth product Jade Bailey, boo, turncoat, was fucked off to Chelsea. She's come through our youth system. She's been with us 3 years and then shit on us to go and join those bunch of chav fucks. Anyway, interesting little bit of information, Gimli, if you're interested.
I'm always interested in new information.
How much do you reckon? You would probably have to take your socks and shoes off to add this up. How much a season ticket is for Arsenal ladies, for an adult? How much do you reckon? For the entire season, if you buy it now, the early bird ticket?
Oh, I reckon 250 quid.
40 quid. 20 quid concessions, and if you're a family, £105, and that will be for 2 adults and 2 under 16-year-old children.
I'd pay that. Look at that. You get to see boobs all season. I'd pay that.
We don't look at women's football in that tone of voice, you terrapin-loving, hemorrhoid-tickling
fucking speak for yourself. I enjoyed the World Cup.
Why not? The women look at blokes football exactly like that, and then sit there denying that they're not sexually objectifying male footballers, and they're not sexist, honest governor.
You've been on Twitter about this before, Steve, haven't you? I've seen
Yeah,
it
it's
before.
just there's sickening hypocrisy, isn't it?
It's
Convenience feminism.
So
All right,
yeah, if I want
boobs
to
and
talk
football.
about her Charlies and watch her Charlies for 90 minutes, then watch her Charlies is what I shall do. Bristol's. Oh,
Talking about Charlie's, is the Tottenham bench on the fucking telly here?
oh Jesus.
Oh,
So you know, you mentioned Rachel Yankee earlier on.
yep.
I was looking at her Twitter feed. I think it was passed on to me, and she's been impersonated by that notorious scammer, Hussein Hirani. I don't know if you know about him. He's been scamming Arsenal and all football teams of their tickets for the last, it must be 3 or 4 years now. And he's gone on and scammed a load of Arsenal fans for tickets, making out that he is Rachel Yankee's manager or something like that. So everyone's got to be careful. Don't be taking.
Still out there doing it.
He's still out there doing it, mate. He's got a court case in, mate.
I think he's messed up this time, because actually what he's done there is that's impersonating someone who's a celebrity. He's going to definitely get nicked. She's reported him to the police as well.
Oh, there's loads of people. No, he's got a court case up in May, and I was told by some very reliable source that someone found him in Harrow on a meet. I think it was on Saturday. When was our game? Saturday or Sunday? Sunday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I had a meet with him on.
No, it was Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday. No, that might have been before the Barcelona game. A couple of nights ago, say.
Did he get a clump?
He got a clump, yeah.
He needs a wheelchair.
Fucking right as well.
Right on. Scamming him.
It's an
Absolutely.
outrage. Right, there you go. I think I'm all done with that. That was quite good.
No, you haven't, because you've given.
Oh, right, yeah, the injuries. I didn't write that down. I was going to go and have a...
You've taken us away.
Shut your face. Remember, I'm now using arsenalreport.com/injury room. Oh, it's just entertaining.
I can maybe help you with the first team from the other night at least, anyway.
Oh, lovely. Right, anyway, Jack Wilshere, 3 weeks until he's back. Gabriel Paulista has gone back to Brazil for a little bit of work. Says here he's expected back any day now, which is nice. The Ox has had to be put down. Santi Cazorla, 2 weeks. Thomas Rosicky has been made into sausages. And Carl One-Leg Jenkinson, 5 months. So there you go. Thank you very much, West Ham, you fucking shitbags. Taking our players, mucking them up, and then sending them back. Swines.
Yeah, everyone's fit from the other night, apart from the Ox. I mean, I was a little bit worried about Lecoq when he come off the other day. They thought he might have something wrong with a hamstring or something like that. But no, he's fine. Be fit for United. The Ox, I think he had a scan today. He's definitely missing for the weekend, they think. And they're a little bit concerned about his ligaments. He might have done his ligaments or something like that. But, they're hoping. Everyone's hoping, I suppose, aren't they?
Right then, shall we kick this on, fellas?
Yeah.
So, of course, we've got 2 games to talk about tonight. So, let's do it. The first, of course, we've got Hull in the FA Cup, and that was on Saturday. Geoff, would you like to start us off with this one?
I can't remember a lot about it, Kim, to be honest with you.
There wasn't really an awful lot to remember about it, Geoff, to be honest.
I was there.
You were there.
Yeah,
you don't remember how good a game. That's an advert for the game, isn't it?
I'm a diehard. Now, you know what? We took a lot of stick for it. Personally, I think we played well. As we passed and everything else. We had the whole of the game, all of the possession. But when you are playing against 11 fit individuals that are content or intent not to win the game, and they just want to sit in there. They had 11 men behind the ball all times. Unless you break them down, that's what the game's going to be like all the way through. I can't stand teams that come to our place, especially a cup game when you've got a chance, right? Someone's got to go out. League game is different. You get a point. Cup game, you've got to, you're playing to win the game, surely. I mean, Bruce, he just come and they parked the 3 buses, and it was just so difficult to break them down. We had numerous chances. We should have really put them to bed early doors,
Goalkeeper made some good saves as well, Geoff, didn't he?
Why does every goalkeeper that comes to play at the Emirates, right, seems to have a fucking worldie? It drives me mad. What is it?
Actually, I'll tell you what I suspect it is. I think a lot of teams now using this video evidence, I think a lot of teams are looking about how our players actually shoot at goal, where they're shooting at a lot of the time. And I think a lot of keepers are preparing for this. And I think, they're compacting their team in front of him. They know we don't shoot from long range, so you don't get rebounds coming out. You don't get keepers spilling the ball up for someone like Ramsey to come in the box and slam in, or someone to just score a messy tap in. You know, we're trying to stroke the ball home. A lot of the time, there's not enough power there. I mean, Alexis was doing that before he got injured, but he's not doing it now. And I think we're making it too easy for him. I mean, you know, if people start shooting, balls start pinging around in penalty areas, that's when the Lampard deflection goals come. But we're not getting that.
We need a few messy goals, don't we, to get through some of these games?
Yeah, we do.
Just, you know, even an own goal, or, you know, I mean, I suppose the Welbeck goal was a tad messy, so to speak, but
nothing messy about it. It was fucking.
Yeah. I know what you're saying, but you know, it was, you know, last ditch, wasn't it? And the ball was just slung in there. But you know, that whole game, mate, it was just incredible.
They just came to get a replay. You tell what their game plan is. They're going to do it again in the replay. They're going to sit back there, go for penalties in extra time, and they're going to get a full gate out of it. And you know, they're a club that ain't got a lot of money, so you can't blame them for doing it. At the end of the day, they're not going to come and try and play us at football because they know we'll smash them to pieces. So
thing is, though, is aren't they going for the championship as well? They're going promotion. They don't particularly need another game. In fact, this was a game that they could have really done without, kind of in the same way, you know, as Arsenal could have. You know,
I just don't think the manager wanted to break the momentum of his team because they keep winning in their league. Yeah. So I think he just decided, like, what we'll do is if we can prove ourselves against Arsenal, it proves a point to the players that, you know, they're ready for the Premiership, you know.
And it is tough when you play a team like that that have had a good run, you know, they keep on winning and getting good results. That belief that they got, you know, they come to our gaff and they thought, well, you know, we can get a result here. We can get something out of this game. You know, like you said, we're taken back to. Is it the KC? Is it the KC still? KC, and I mean, anything can happen. It's the FA Cup, isn't it? That's the only thing that worries me. But personally, I think we should go there. We hopefully, if we score early, we'll clean them out, won't we? 3 or 4.
I think it's they'll buckle at home. I think you come to the Emirates, you know, you've got the crowd. You know, it's in their terms of what they're playing. It's a big day out for them. You know, it's
like a World Cup final, isn't it? But
yeah, also, exactly.
Also, I don't think anything will change. I think it'll be the same tactics again. Like you said, Steve.
Will be, but it depends on who the ref is. I mean, we should have had 2 decisions go our way in the first half of that game and didn't get them. But, you know, to be honest, the players have got to man up and start sticking these balls away and stop fucking about.
Very true. Very true.
But we did have the chances as well. If I remember correctly, Joel Campbell hit the post. You know, it's one of those.
Steve Bruce's son actually tweeted that he admitted that he handballed the ball in the area, which Clattenburg never gave. Fucking wanker.
I can't believe that he's still getting a living that. What's his name? What's his first name?
Alex Bruce, isn't it?
How's he getting a living out of the game still? It's fucking useless.
Well, his old man's the manager.
Yeah, amazing, isn't it?
That's it.
So, were there any standout performers for that game, Danny?
My cat is get down, you silly cow. Go on, piss off. Put your fat ass in front of the screen. No, I thought Chambers played all right. It was nice. El Neni is settling into his role. I expect a goal from him any day soon.
A lot of people are actually pushing for El Neni to maybe start against Barcelona. I know that wasn't the case now, but you know, does he put in a claim for playing big games like that for you, Steve?
Not really. No. I mean, what I like about him is he plays a lot more balls forward than sideways. So I've heard people saying he's Arteta-esque. He seems to be more direct, and from tapes I've seen him playing from Basel, he's got a tremendous long shot on him. Although I'm sure Wenger will soon ban him from using that. But I mean, he
does like a pot shot, doesn't he?
It's what we need. I mean, we'll come on to it when we talk in the Barca game. I just think the reason why we're suffering and why we're not scoring is the 2 central pairing just doesn't balance the team properly. And although Aaron Ramsey might like to think he's the best player in the centre of midfield, for me he isn't, and I think he should be out on the right where he can protect Hector better, and Hector can come forward a lot more. And I think that makes us a lot more stable. It stops breakaways, and I think we need to look at this middle pairing. But for me, it's just a question of getting Cazorla fit and back ASAP. Because that's what stopped the team ticking. It's like we're a highly tuned clock that's had its pendulum ripped out.
I think we missed Santi badly, mate. And I think it has been, you know, it's been highlighted over the last few games. It's a bit of quality that he does possess, and especially when you are under a bit of pressure, like against Barcelona the other night. You know, it definitely would have helped us on in retaining possession, and it's so sad, you know. So sad, but there you go.
Well, when you've got a 2-footed player who can hold the ball and shield people off, and he's an out for defenders under panic, and you can also what's missing is this transformation between defence and attack, and that's what's the problem with that central midfield pairing at the moment. That there's no one that can exact that transformation, so it's all going down one side, and it's too easily blotted out. And it's when you've got Cazorla in there, you can use both feet. That people are not sure who's going to get the ball next, where it's going to pop up, and because Ozil's just loving it, he's just like dragging people all over the shop, taking the piss, opening up bundles of space for himself and exploiting it. But he can't do that, if Cazorla's not there.
No.
That's something I noticed in the last few games that we played. I did moan and say, I don't want Santi and Koch in midfield together because you're going to get no goals. But that's proved to be wrong. It just shows yet again I don't know what I'm on about, because we were, especially the other night, we were getting the ball and Barcelona going tap, 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 tap all around the pitch and then running down having a shot. We'd get the ball back, pass, long pass, they've got the ball back. And that happens all the time now. It's just annoying. But Welbeck looks good. Welbeck looks a little bit on form. But, to move 20 against Hull, 24 shots on goal, 68% possession, but they beat us tackles. They're 31-16 on tackles for the day, but that goalkeeper is amazing.
But here you go. Here's another stat for you. This was the first clean sheet that Hull have managed to keep against Arsenal in 100 years. The last one being the Khaki Cup. Back in the early 1900s.
And was that a good game, Geoff? Because I'm sure you were there.
Didn't they beat us 1-0 at Geoff before, though, in the Premier League, when they first come up?
I've got no idea. Again, I said on the radio show a while ago that the first time Sunderland had ever beaten Man United in the Premier League, because I'm sure that's what Match of the Day said. It's bullshit.
If anyone has a problem with that statistic, please do feel free to write to the BBC, because that's where I stole it from. So they're wrong, really, not myself.
That's what I always do. Blame someone else.
Exactly. So either way, you've got to look at this as it's another game somewhere down the line for us. It's not what we would have wanted.
What was that stat? That they'd never scored?
Hull... last clean sheet. The last clean sheet that Hull have ever kept against Arsenal was 100 years ago in the Khaki Cup.
And that would have been 1st of August, 1914. It was Hull 1, Arsenal 0 in the second division. Khaki Cup?
Yeah.
Second division.
Obviously, cup about trousers.
So I'm seeing if there's any other ones.
Have a look at the Premier League last 3-4 years when Hull got first promoted. Their first time they got promoted into the Premier League. I'm sure they beat us 1-0. It was a right fluke. We was all over them.
Well, in 2008-9, they beat us 2-1. Then we beat them 3-1. We beat them 2-1. Then we beat them 3-0. We beat them 2-1, 2-0, and then we beat them 3-0. And then we beat 2-2, and then 2-0, and then 3-1.
Lovely. I'm not really sure that there's an awful lot that we can talk about that. I know the fixture list has come out for that, and that's due on the same day as we were supposed to be playing Barcelona. And I think there's a little bit more of a fixture problem with that one. Danny, do you know anything about that? I think they released a date. Kate said to me, what was it, Kate?
Are you slurping there like the Elephant Man?
No.
Oh, the whole replay you're talking about?
Yeah, the whole replay falls on the same date.
Oh, the 8th of March.
Yes, as the bus.
Oh, they'll give us a date. Well, they
7th, yeah, 7th of March, according to Kate.
The 8th. Tuesday the 8th of March, it says on Soccerway, but they're full of shit, so who knows?
No, I don't think they've declared it yet. But
they have declared it. It says Hull City versus Arsenal replay gets UEFA dispensation, and it will happen on Tuesday the 8th of March, 3 days after their Premier League game against Tottenham.
Oh, that's nice of them. Thank you very much.
Didn't Kate read something about they originally wanted us to play the game at 4:45 p.m. on a Tuesday. 5:45 p.m. on a Tuesday.
That's what I'm saying there. Isn't it a joke?
But actually, to be honest, it would have been better for the fans if they had. Because if you think about
it... have to go.
No, if you think about it, now, if you go, it kicks off at 7. If it goes to extra time and penalties, there'll be no trains home. So you have to stay up there.
Yeah, but the amount of money you'd spend on a train home, you could just buy a house in Hull and live there for a week.
Burn it down and claim the money back.
That's it.
Right.
It's a liberty. It's a liberty how they treat the football fan, though, isn't it? I mean,
They don't give a fuck. They've not given a fuck for years, have
how
they?
long ago was that game? A week ago or something? Well,
That was on the 20th, so that was 5 days ago.
it's just disgusting, really, isn't it?
It's not exactly breaking news, is it, Geoff, that the football don't give a fuck about the fans?
The FA apparently blaming UEFA for having to be involved for them to get dispensation as to why it took so long, apparently.
Yeah, it's all a big shitstorm.
So are we going to beat them? That's what we want to know. I mean, last time that we made 9 changes, Hull made 10. Well, they can't really make any more changes, can they? They might as well just play that goalkeeper up front as well, the game that he had.
I think they've got a big game on the Wednesday again, though, haven't they? or the Saturday afterwards, or something like that.
I'm going to go and have a little cheeky sneak and pretend that I knew all along.
Yeah, I think
they were. They were meant to play on that day. They were meant to have played Brentford in the Championship. And they were playing 5 days before. They were away at Birmingham, and then 4 days after, they're at home to MK McDonald's, the Scottish team.
Right then, Danny, should we move on then?
Let's move on.
This is the new improved Slimline AFC podcast.
And that's not a dig at me for once.
No, it's not. We're trying to keep these down to an hour and 15 minutes.
Yes,
so
get on with it.
Yeah, go on. Give us some Twitter questions, Fat Man.
Okie dokie. We've moved these around in the middle, so much so that I'd even forgot that that's where we were putting them. First question is from our friend in... I got this wrong. You got South America and North America. What's the bit in the middle?
Central
America. There you
You're
go.
a fucking idiot.
I couldn't remember.
Get on with it, you old
See, now I reckon you're going to make a ricket here, because I reckon that some of these questions are going to involve questions about Barcelona.
Oh.
And... how can we talk about them? Answer them questions when.
See, this is
save those.
afterwards?
I could save those for after. I'll save the Barca ones for after we talked about Barca.
Yes, do that.
Hey.
Danny,
Good
you
job,
can
yes.
crowbar them in while we're talking about the Barca game.
Good job Geoff reminded us, though, because I didn't think of that. That's why Geoff's a pro and we're not.
Thank God someone's got some intelligence on this podcast. You that fat shit. Do you know what this podcast is called? The notes? It's called Barcelona. That's what I called this.
Anyway, Gummer, who is at Gumer and then the letter V. If Joel Campbell was English and the nephew was Sol Campbell, would he get starting? Would he be starting ahead of Theo and the Ox? Because he's moaning that the only reason he doesn't play is because he's not English. When those two twats are English and do fuck all. Steve, what do you think?
I think it's a great mystery why Joel Campbell's not playing, because he's done very, very well on that side, protecting Hector Bellerin. He had a good relationship with him, and he scored more goals than the Ox has, and actually takes part in the game. He can defend properly, and he doesn't hide like fucking Walcott does. And I think it's absolutely, I think the only reason the Ox has been preferred to him is the Ox is a bit more direct and does run at people and does commit defenders. The problem is he's a bit Aaron Lennon-esque with the end product. Having said that, now it's irrelevant because Joel Campbell's going to get his place if he doesn't move Ramsey back out there.
Geoff, what do you think?
I'm not sure about Joel Campbell, to be honest with you, as an Arsenal player that wins the Premier League. He's okay. He'll come in and do a job, but
he came in and saved us when we had no one, and he played brilliantly.
I don't know about brilliantly. He's done well when he's come in. He's been tired and he's been all right, and he's got great enthusiasm. I don't think he's got too much pace. He doesn't really set the world alight, though, does he? He's all right. He'll keep the ball, and he does give you. He's disciplined enough where he does get back in and defend for you. But I just think we need a little bit more than Joel Campbell. I'm only being honest. I think
we need a bit more than Oxlade-Chamberlain and Walcott and Joel Campbell. We need to buy a Mark Overmars type player. We ain't got one.
No, it's true. But I'd persevere with the Ox. I'm getting fed up with Theo. I mean, I've been fed up with him for a long while, to be honest with you. But then, like I said in the past, then he'll do something. You think, oh wow, surely, he's gonna kick on now. And it hasn't really happened for him. But you know what? Having said that, I didn't mind him, and I think he took a lot of stick again in that whole game. But I didn't mind him so much in the whole game. He looked like he had a little bit of confidence about him. He was holding the ball up well, the way he was shaping up to receive the ball. He's obviously been doing a lot of work on it, because before he was just getting kicks off the ball every time the ball was played into him. But nowadays he's shaping up correctly. He should do as a centre forward to receive the ball. So the jury's out on Theo, but the Ox, I'd still give him a chance. I know there's a lot of people talking about him. You know, maybe there was apparently a bid supposed to be coming in from West Ham. I think it's all bollocks for £15 million. And would you accept it? No way in the world, mate. He's definitely worth more than £15 million, and I definitely think he's got a future at the club. Stevie, what do you reckon?
Well, I agree with you, and I agree with you for two reasons. I think he's only 22, whereas Walcott's 26, is he, or 27?
And on 130 grand a week.
Yeah, but the point is that Walcott should be at approaching the best period of his career. Clearly, fucking nowhere near it. For me, approaching the end of his Arsenal career, and I don't see any way out of it. We'll come to that later. But the Ox shows promise. He's 22. He can learn. He can develop, and you know, he's got. I think he probably has got a future at the club. Whether Walcott can get himself out of his, people say it's confidence. I think it's worse than that. Do you remember the game where Wenger made him captain, Geoff?
Yeah,
And
go on, mate. Yeah.
He was stood in the tunnel before the game, and the cameras on him. He was absolutely bricking it.
Oh, well, didn't Mertesacker make him captain? He handed him the armband just before they went on, and people were going, "That's a disgrace." His 10th anniversary, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it's too many times. There's a lot of games you see them abroad. They show you the players in the tunnel beforehand. And Walcott's always completely, his body language, his face, racked with nerves. And I think he's got to a situation where in the past he was playing in the banter years with a lot of players who had a very low level of ability, and collectively they didn't do too badly. And now he's playing with people like Alexis Sanchez and Ozil, and it stands out that he just doesn't have the ability for me. I mean, he doesn't have the ability to play wide right on the pitch. He loves drifting in. He wants to get a goal because then he can live off the goal and not get bollocked for his defensive shortcomings. But for me, I mean, for that money, the only reason he's getting that money is because he's English. If he wasn't English, Walcott would have been sold ages ago.
Would you take 20 mil for him, Steve?
I would break your arm off, Geoff, and bite it up to the shoulders. The Middlesex just scored.
Good. We want them to get through. More games for them.
Yeah. Wretch Ryan, was it Mason?
Oh. Gimli, what's your thoughts on the pecking order on the right wing?
Personally, I'm a big fan of Joel Campbell. I think his fitness has improved, which was the only part of his game that really, really worried me. I think you look back to what he's done this season and some of his assists that he's made. I think he's made one for Giroud as well. He's made a couple in the Champions League that they are Ozil-esque type passing. And I think he is, out of when all of them are fit and firing, probably my preferred starter on the right. I think that pace that he has and the relationship that he has with Bellerin down that side is absolutely fantastic. It brings Bellerin's game on as well. As for Walcott, I think I'd have to agree with the gents there. There gets to a point where you can't really defend it anymore, where it doesn't become good enough. You know, the guy's on £130,000 a week. Can we really settle for what he gives us? Which, let's be honest, at the moment isn't really an awful lot. As Steve alluded to, he's in the peak of his career at the moment, and he looks like a player that's just starting out. You know. And we haven't really seen a lot better from him. You know, it's been very stop-start his career, and the injuries haven't helped, I know. But as Steve said, I think, I'd take 20 million for him as well.
I think the amount of money you'd save on wages was 130 grand a week. That's nearly £50 billion a year.
I'd rather put another 70,000 to that and get a Marco Reus, someone that you know can perform.
Draxler,
yeah, exactly.
Schürrle, someone like that, play him on the left, and then free up Sanchez to play on the right.
You look at teams like, if Theo Walcott played for Real Madrid, he wouldn't have stayed there anywhere more than a season.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, and you've got to look at that. If you want to play with the big boys, then you've got to look at the players. And I think Geoff said it the other week. We can't afford to have passengers. Everyone has got to turn up and play to the best of their ability. Because the moment someone that doesn't, it shows. We're playing for the Premier League this season. You know, dig in, fight for your place. You know, and when it comes to games, take your chances. I
think they're caught between a rock and a hard place. The Arsenal. I'm sure that if he could get someone to replace Theo, I'm sure he would, because I think he's gone past that stage now. He's not stupid. You know what I mean? We all feel the same. We all feel it. We all watch the games, but he does. There is times where he does offer you. He's got that blistering pace, and he does offer you an option. And I think that's what his problem is. Maybe he's still. I've criticised him before, Wenger. He does. He has so much faith in these players that sometimes, I think he's got to pull the trigger a little bit earlier. He's got to say, listen, he's not going to make it.
Do you think it's just easier to keep him? From Arsene Wenger's point of view, though, Geoff, do you think it's just an easier option to keep him? Because you sell a player like Walcott, and granted, he is one of the players that should be stepping up and scoring 15, 20 goals a season for us, isn't he? But you go out and you sell that, then you have to replace that with something that's either as good or better. Does he not believe that there is something out there that's available that's better at this moment in time?
Well,
Obviously, he doesn't.
No, maybe. He sees it differently to us. Obviously, I'm sure. Like I said just now, I'm sure if there was a player like a Marco Reus that was available and that we could purchase, I'm sure that he would have a punt at it. But it's a tough one. I do understand because at the same time, Theo has got the ability, but I just don't think I don't think he's got the mental ability.
But I mean, you look at it as well, and we've seen the best from Theo Walcott when he's been fighting for his position with Olivier Giroud, haven't we? And we've likewise as well. We've seen the best from Giroud when he's had to fight for his position with Walcott. Having Welbeck come in, and from what I've seen of Welbeck so far, he looks like he's hit the ground running, and he looks like he really wants to start in this team. So I think, let's hope that this can turn into one massive positive and it actually put a rocket up Theo's arse to go, do you know what? I'm not even going to be second choice here if I'm careful.
You look at the... Go on.
I think Welbeck's a quality player, mate.
I agree with you, Geoff.
I think he's a
Man
really,
United
really good
1-0 down.
player.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Man United 1-0 down.
Unbelievable.
But you look at Campbell's stats this season. He's played 23 games, but of those 23, he's he's come on 16 times, been taken off 14 times, 3 goals, 4 assists, and I think he's played on the left. But it doesn't say how many of those games he's played the full 90.
Game he played, was it against Swansea? You tell me a game that Walcott this season has played better than that. I can't. I honestly, from the top of my head, right, the last good game that I saw Theo Walcott have was the FA Cup final.
Oh, well, there you go. I suppose we should move on. Let's get another question in. Oh, and it was only the second reply of the day before someone got this week's Should We Shoot More? And it's our very own birthday boy, Simon Collins, who is SR_Collins. He sent another tweet 3 minutes later trying to redeem himself, saying, in all seriousness, Perez has officially retired today. What's the panel's favourite memories of him? Steve?
What made the guy? I bet he's on mute, old Stevie, or he's fucked off, or done something, or whatever he's done.
He's still see you go, Geoff.
It's been so many fantastic goals. I'll give you 2. The Aston Villa one when he chipped the keeper. Schmeichel, I think he chipped Schmeichel. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go on.
Good man. I thought I'd cut you off there for a minute. But my favourite is the one at White Hart Lane when he done the Harley shuffle on the corner of the 6-yard box. I can't remember who it was that he more or less threw him out of the way with a dummy and done the same to the goalkeeper and slotted it in the corner. I mean, I think he's in my top 5 Arsenal players, Perez. What a player. Unbelievable quality.
Gimli, you got one?
Yeah, there's probably... Geoff put up a good one with the Tottenham one, but I'd have to go the Villa one. It's just sexual football, isn't it? It's just... there is no words invented to describe it. Players like him are once-in-a-lifetime players. They really are. And it's truly sad that we'll never see him play the game again. Unless he plays charity match for UNICEF, of course.
As somebody said today, if he was still playing, I'd still have him in the side over Walcott. I remember a goal he scored against Lazio in the Champions League, and it was 0-0. And it was away as well in Rome, and they were a hideous team, like fans, absolute Nazis. And this was the game where Jules Gramonti took out the current manager of Atletico Madrid. Broke his nose.
For having a go at Vieira.
And using the N-word against him. And Pires raced clear with the ball and smashed the ball past the keeper, an incredible goal. And, apparently after that game, Simeone was waiting outside the dressing room for Jules Gramonti, and apparently Petit and Vieira went outside and told him where to go. But great player, so graceful on the ball, nothing could shake him really.
My favourite bit is with the Corinthian football figures when I drew his little beard on it That's my favourite moment with Perez, because he's a legend of a player. Right, this one is from Dimitri. Says, should Alexis be played on the right to try a new tactic? Cutting to the right from the left wing stopped working for him. That's a good point, Gimli. What do you reckon?
Well, he's familiar with that position because he played there for Chile in the World Cup, didn't he? And he did very, very well there.
I think that's his natural position. I think he's there for Barca as well at times.
Yeah, I think he was on the right side for Barca as well. No, not for me. I think he's probably best played on that left-hand side.
He's becoming a one-trick pony on the left-hand side, isn't he?
Yeah, but I think you've got to give Campbell a run in the squad. I think he certainly deserved it.
I think Campbell can play left. He's played twice left there this season. Or maybe swap him round like Wenger did in the last game against Hull. I think he said a couple of times, swap
You
the
always
wingers
mix
over.
and match, can't you? Like he used to do with Ozil and Ramsey.
And Lundberg and Perez.
Yes, indeed, indeed.
Jeff, any wise words to lay down on the listening millions?
He can play. He can play all the way across the top three, can't he? Really, like you said, he's just switched over a few times. You know, I like him. He's all right. He's still going to be fine on that left hand side. He obviously does favour cutting in on his right peg, and sometimes it gets a bit obvious. But the problem is at the minute is possession. It gives possession away too easy. He just, tries some silly balls, some Wembley balls where he would knock it 30 and 40 yards out to try and pick Bellerin out or someone on the right-hand side. Sometimes you just keep it simple. You've got to retain possession, and that's the main thing. And sometimes he just, he cuts inside and he'll try and beat 2 or 3 players. And that is where the problem lies, when you're set up and you've got other players making runs thinking he's going to pass or whatever. If it breaks down, the ball turns over, that's when you get they'll break on you. That's what happened the other night against Barcelona, similar type of thing. They break away, and away you go. You're in trouble.
Well, I think the fact is that him and Campbell have swapped over in several games before, and I would leave him where he is. I don't think the issue is actually. Yeah, I think he's suffering a little bit of form. His game's all about, taking slight risks and shaving off points on dangerous passes and stuff, and taking shots that people can't handle. Have you not noticed that's something he stopped doing? He stopped taking those shots at keepers where they spill them or where he scores them, like the one he took against Boruts in the cup final, or the screamer he scored against United earlier on in the season. Yeah, I think he's a bit off pace. I think also he sort of like gets annoyed with himself. You can see there's a lot of he's giving his teammates the thumbs up for good balls, but he gets annoyed with himself when he messes up. It'll come right, and I think one of the big things, it comes back to, again, this central combo in the middle of midfield. Santi has a good understanding with him, and he has a good understanding with Ozil, and those 3 players are sort of a triangle, if you like, which is constantly fluid and moving around the pitch. And what that does is that creates space that Alexis and Ozil can, they can exploit, and that's not there at the moment because, basically Cazorla's not there. That balance in midfield's not there. So, until maybe when Cazorla comes back, you'll see Alexis slightly, change how he is.
Like you say, though, Steve, you are correct in what you're saying about, the way he lives on the edge, and he'll try stuff that, other players wouldn't dare try. If you take that out of his game, then there's a big part of his game missing. It's great when it comes off. It obviously isn't great when it doesn't come off. But, you just got to run with it because he will definitely come good. He's a world-class player.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. This is from Dan Ruch. Rush. R-U-C-H. Is that Ruch or Rush?
Roosh.
Roosh. Oh, old Rooshy. He says, with Firmini giving away a penalty in 20 seconds of coming on, what have you done faster? What have you done that is faster than a Firmini giving away a penalty? Go on, Gim, I can hear you grinning.
Oh, I don't know, what have I done faster?
And don't keep it off bloody being rude and potty-minded, and don't include the missus in anything. What the fuck can you do quicker than 20 seconds?
You just ruined everything that I could have said. If I can't be rude, where's the fun?
Oh dear, get on with it.
I really haven't got an answer because everything's smutty or drug-based.
I mean, have you two got an answer?
Oh, you know what? I just think he's been, he's become that the new hate figure again.
He's the new Abue.
Yeah, well, I think it's been really, really unfair on Flamini, and I don't think he's been nowhere near as bad as what people think. I think he's done a decent job when he's come in. You know what you're going to get from him. He's not, he's not going to pull up trees for you, mate. But he will give his 100% effort. Every footballer makes mistakes. You can't help that. They all make mistakes, and he's in a vital position in the centre of the park like that. He's going to make mistakes. Every player does it. All players do it. I mean, Ozil gave the ball away the other night a lot. It just shit happens. But he has become the focal point of all these Arsenal fans that just want to moan and barrack and bollock everybody. He's not been nowhere near as bad as what people think. That's in my opinion.
I think also he was hung out to dry by Mertesacker in that incidents, which we'll come on to later. But I mean, let us not forget this is a man who stuck 2 away past the scum to end their jaunt in the League Cup earlier on this season, and then we went and promptly got knocked out by Sheffield Wednesday to take the piss even more. And so you at the end of the day, players do make mistakes. I do think he's a victim of the fact that we should have bought a player who's younger and better to play in that position in the summer rather than try and gamble on one person staying fit for the whole year. But, it is what it is, and he's there and he tries. And you can't deny that he's an Arsenal man. That's for certain.
But, in them games, in every one of them games, he hasn't always been our worst player. There's been worse players than him, mate. Don't worry about that.
Oh, yeah, well, we've just been spent 20 minutes talking about the major culprit. The invisible man.
Man United equalised with an own goal. They went across it, hit the bloke's foot and went in. My answer to that question is, I can do something quicker than 20 seconds. The amount of time it takes in my body to turn wheat or gluten into the brown stuff. Sometimes it's a matter of less than that before I go, oh, that's it, that's me ruined. Gluten and old age.
You really are a charm.
I didn't say
you
poo
do like
once.
to lower the tone of this podcast.
I didn't say poo once.
It's always him, Geoff. Always.
How about if someone's listening to this when he's in their tea tomorrow night or something? What are you going to do then? It's
As
terrible.
long as it's not sausages in gravy, they'll be fine.
Oh, Jesus wept.
Right. From Frumosa de la Rosa.
Bless you.
From Milton Keynes. I don't know. It's probably somewhere hot. It says Giroud not scoring in 8 games and Theo still stuck in third gear. Is it time to play Welbeck up front, looking hungry and raring to go? Mr. Gimli.
Yeah, I'd give Welbeck a go up front. Why not? I mean, from what we've seen of him so far, he hasn't done himself any harm, has he? He's fresh, so you can't argue that. He's chomping at the bit. Yeah, I'd give him a go. Why not?
I think Mr. De La Rosa is not mentioning, because it's Twitter, that Giroud has had 2 fantastic cushioned headers for the Walcott and for the Ozil goals recently. Yeah, so taking that into consideration. Geoff, go on.
Yeah, again, he's another one that's been taking unnecessary stick. He's not this and he's not that and blah blah blah. Of course, he's not going to get you 30 or 40 goals a season, Giroud. But he's a decent player, mate. And like you say, he's good at assisting. Welbeck, why not stick him up there? He's an option there. At least we have got an option at centre forward. I think Giroud come off the other night and Welbeck went on and it gave us a little bit, didn't he? He's an option. He learnt his trade as a centre forward. No, he's played wide all the time, a lot of the time for United, but he's learnt his trade as a centre forward. He's got great pace, great enthusiasm for the game, and I'm sure he'll score goals for Arsenal. I really do. So why not give him a little go, can't you? They can rotate him, can't they?
There's an interesting fact that I heard when you were on another podcast. So we're not going to say the name of that podcast because they never bloody say that you're from here. So we're not saying it. But they come up. They had Alan Smith on the phone, and one of the presenter was saying that at this point, when we won was it the 1991 season? He said at this point in the season, Alan, you were top goal scorer and you had 21 assists by the beginning of February that season. Now that's just amazing, isn't it?
It's an amazing stat, isn't it?
Yeah, I said about a month ago, someone should go back and watch the old season highlights and see who really did get all the assists and stuff. Steve, what do you think about the Giroud situation?
I think Welbeck at the moment is obviously not completely 100% match fit, but I would start him against United. He's got an axe to grind against LVG. I would think you could probably get 60, 70 minutes of top hard work out of him. He knows those defenders at United. He knows how to take the piss out of them. He knows exactly their weaknesses as well. I would start him. And you've also always got the option. Then you can either drop him to the right, and he can sit back and defend and close that side off, or you can take him off and bring Giroud on for the last 20 minutes. I think he holds the ball up well. He can make play happen and distribution. So I wouldn't have any problem with starting him.
Okay, Gimli, like that. I've still got a few more Twitter questions, but they're Barcelona related, and I've had a thought that maybe we should save these for after the Barcelona talk.
I think we should do.
That's what we discussed pre-pod, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. So we'll carry on then by talking about the second game this evening, which was, of course, the 2-0 home defeat against Barcelona. So for his analysis, we will go to Mr. Hillwood.
Right, thanks, Gim. First of all, it was always going to be a very hard game against what is essentially the best team in the world, with the equivalent of a Hollywood front line. It was always going to be a very difficult game. So for 71 minutes, I think we were very well disciplined. They had a few chances. Suarez in particular had a couple of good chances and missed. Cech made a couple of saves. We had some chances and couldn't finish. Most notably the one where the Ox didn't realise how much time he had, and instead of just flicking the ball up into the roof of the net, he scuffed it into the keeper. But unfortunately, all that good work went to rat shit when, as ever, we got sucker punched, rope a dope it was. You could see it coming. Barcelona came out for the second half. They sat quite a way up the pitch. All of a sudden, they dropped back deep. Arsenal started pressing and pushing forward, committing. All Barcelona were doing was just waiting for the one time where we made a mistake and we overcommitted people and a breakaway. And bosh, there they did. They scored. And that was it. The second one, the penalty. But, it was just game over. So at the end of the day, there were some notable performances there. I thought the Ox looked lively. He was certainly causing them problems down the side he was on. Shame his end product could have been a bit better. The pass which got him, the touch which got him injured was bad. If he'd crossed the ball earlier, as he should have done, he had Ozil and someone else screaming in on goal.
I think it was Sanchez and Ozil, but you can see in the replay he was running with his head down. He wasn't looking up, and those two were waving their arms in the air.
Yeah, that was sort of like, it was the football equivalent of sort of like racing through with huge flags, and still he wasn't seen. But at the end of the day, the referee was appalling in the first half. But you've got to take that when you're playing at this level. I think many fans of other teams thought it was funny. Wait till they ever get there, if they ever get there. And it's a very hard task to take a team like that on anywhere, whether it's at your own place or theirs. And for 71 minutes, we did very well against the best team in the world with that fantastic forward line. We made our own chances. We opened them up. We got some panic in their defence, which isn't their strongest point. And Ramsey did very well as well in breaking up stuff with Coquelin in midfield. So if you want to look at the game, yes, we lost. We'll come to that in a minute. But overall, if we can play like that against United and Spurs, we win those games as long as we can finish. For me, what concerns me the most about this...
Who's breathing?
Yeah, how dare they while I'm talking?
Mute me.
It wasn't me.
You just run up the stairs.
No.
It's Gimli watching porn again, isn't it? Heavy breathing down the
I'm not like Danny, who sits here and goes...
Sounded like Peter
Get on
Cook
with
there.
it.
Anyway, so what disturbs...
It's because he's a beast.
Yeah, what disturbs me about this ball losing thing? If you go back to Monaco thing, and if you actually went to take the trouble, go back in every game where we've had a shit result because we got hit on the break, one common factor is always there every time, and that is that we're in the opponent's penalty box, and there's been a dead ball or there's been a shot on the goal, and the ball's come loose in the box, and instead of Per Mertesacker getting back down the other end to his defensive position where he should be, he stays up in the upper midfield trying to act as some sort of DM up there, which he's fucking shit at. and of course, it always gets caught out, and he leaves Koscielny and others at the back completely exposed. The question of this is, you're a World Cup winner. You've played 100 caps for Germany. Surely, Arsene Wenger's told him enough times. Look, you've got to stop going up there. You've got to get back. If you go up there, you've got to get back. As soon as the ball comes loose, as soon as we lose possession, you've got to go back. You're not a midfielder. Surely someone's told him this. It's obvious to me that's what one of the faults. But that's how we go. At the end of the day, there's two positives out of it. We played well, we were organised, we were disciplined well, apart from those two mistakes, which against a team like that murder you every time. The other thing is that ties over and it's out of the way now. There's no way back from it, so we can concentrate on important things rather than stuff we're not going to win.
I think Steve summed it up very, very well there. I think he took everything, he covered everything. I mean, one thing I would say was, like he said, arguably the best team in the world, some fantastic footballers. I enjoyed it. I know we got beat. It was a disappointing defeat, but it was a fantastic spectacle. I love going to the game. It's something electric about them European nights. I was standing outside for about 15 or 20 minutes just watching people arrive and everything else, talking to a couple of pals, and it was just the feeling was fantastic. We got into the stadium, and you know what? It was a fantastic atmosphere in there when they pulled up all the flags and everything else, and we really played well for 60, 70 minutes of that match. The first half I think we was brilliant. We contained them. I think we had the better of the first half. In fact, we was a little bit unlucky, like you said. The Ox should have put that one away. We had a couple of little chances as well. I know they did as well. Don't get me wrong, but I think that we more than matched them in that first half. Second half was a little bit different with regards to. I always felt that they did have another gear, Barcelona. They were just waiting until we overcommitted. And then as soon as we did overcommit, I mean, how many times, like you said about that, it was Monaco all over again. Where we're 0-0 is a fantastic result for us, because I always think Barcelona will always give you chances to score. They're not the best defensively. They've got a fantastic front six, so to speak, but they will always give you a chance to score at the other end. Whether it be a set piece or whatever. Now we are good with the ball as well. If we went to the Nou Camp and it was 0-0 at our gaff, I really would fancy it because of the away goals rule. But again, as soon as you turn over possession and you've got too many players upfield, and I'm talking about Ramsey, Coquelin and Mertesacker with way over the halfway line. That particular bit where he went to, why you go to ground? Leave the player, let him run with the ball. Just get back in and get yourself back in front of that box, on the edge of your box. But no, went to ground. As soon as he's out of position, it was just a waiting game where the ball was going to come in and they was going to score. And it did happen a couple of times before they scored. So it's not as if they shouldn't have learnt by it. We really do. When you're playing a quality team like Barcelona or the Madrids or the likes of them, when they've got quality players that can punish you if you make mistakes, one thing you've got to do, when you get your own chances, you've got to stick them away. And we didn't do that. That was the first mistake. The second mistake was trying to chase the game when we could have gone for it. We could have carried on playing as we were. Let me tell you something. If it was a George Graham team playing there, that would have been 0-0 that game, absolutely nailed on, because we would have just locked it up last 20 minutes instead of marching on trying to get that goal, right, and coming out with nothing.
They'd have won, Geoff. Alan Smith would have scored.
Yeah, we would have most really nicked it 1-0. It would have been the other way round. That's how George would have played it, So like that, that defensive unit that we did have at that time, you would fancy this. We just didn't concede any goals. It was ridiculous. But the way obviously Wenger has set us up, we are always offensive. And if they lose, as the game goes on, you lose a little bit of concentration. You forget you're supposed to, drop 10 yards and not go marching forward. And as soon as that space opens up behind the midfield player in front of Mertesacker, you got Messi running at Mertesacker or Suarez running at Mertesacker. It's a fucking no-win.
But don't you think that's part of the setup, Jess? Because at the end of the day, if you push your midfield right up the pitch in a high press, you're leaving a fucking massive gap behind between them and the defence. So either the defence has to push up as well, which if the ball gets lost, Then you've got Suarez, Messi, and Neymar banding down on Peru. Let's face it, couldn't catch him if he was on a Harley fucking Davidson.
Correct.
It's a recipe for disaster. I'm quite sure that for me, if Gabriel was fit, I'd rather have seen him and Koscielny as the pair at the back, because Gabriel and Koscielny suit you playing that high press up the midfield, that high midfield, cutting out, breaking up the play. Per doesn't.
He would have definitely played Gabriel if he was fit. There's no doubt about that.
But for me, I mean, yeah, you can. For me, you can. A player like the Ox, or a young player can forget, but it's no excuse for somebody of Perze's who's played in the World Cup final, who played, who was in the team that beat Brazil 7-0. Come on, that's just unprofessional. It's just like, I think it's because he's not fit enough to get back. I think he's out of puff and he can't get back down the pitch. That's the problem.
What you
so
can't
just don't bother.
You can't have Ramsey, Coquelin, and the two fullbacks, attacking the final third of the pitch all together. It's especially against a team like Barcelona.
Suicidal, isn't it?
Yeah, you can do it against the mugs. You know what I'm saying to you? But quality. I mean, they're them three at the front, mate. They were just waiting, wasn't they? They was waiting for a half chance, and that's how they win their games. The penalty was a nothing. It meant nothing. It meant nothing at that stage. We knew we weren't really going to get that goal back, and we was a little bit deflated. And Flamini come on, he's made a ricket. He was a little bit cold, but it's down to Mertesacker. But his bad first touch again.
Yeah.
I'm not being funny. He's a player he's got 100 German caps. He can't be a mug. So I can't understand how he should be able to defend correctly. I
think it's fit. I think it's fitness, Geoff. I think the problem is he's coming, if you like, to the end of his professional career at that level. I think in the summer they've definitely got to look at, okay, you've got Gabriel. Okay, you've got Koscielny. Well, Koscielny's like 31, 32. He won't be knocking around for too much longer. We've got to buy another centre-half, get him in and blood him into the Premier League. Because for me, I think the problem with Per is, you notice when he makes his mistakes, they're always in the last 20 minutes.
You know what it is with these players, though. He should be educated enough. All right, of course he's going to get tired, and you've got to realise you've got to concentrate more. Look at Tony Adams, mate. Although he was a fit man, he had fucking 10 pints in him from the night before, and he used to play games.
Yeah.
But if he was a little bit tired, he would drop a little bit and watch as long as the game's in front of you. If the ball's in behind you, you're in trouble, mate. If the ball's in front of you, in the game's in front of you, then you can make a decision. You understand me?
Especially with his reading of the game. That's the point. If he's positioned properly and he reads the game, he does what Adams used to do.
Yeah,
you can have the ball there, but you're not getting past me. I'll tell you what, I'll just take it off you and lob it up the pitch. Get rid of it.
Exactly.
Sorry, boys. Sorry to cut you off, but we are running out of time with the new Slimline show. Of course, we all know what the result was. I'll go to Geoff next. Geoff, the hopes of going out there and getting something?
No, absolutely no chance. Honestly.
Not going to happen. Same with you, Steve?
I'd send the kids out there so they can have a laugh, kick a few of them. I mean, but that's the only thing that rankles with me. Barcelona, such a brilliant team. Why do they have to cheat? Just cut it out and play the football. They get so much more respect. Send the kids out there. Let them have the honour of playing against the likes of Messi and Suarez and that. It's a nothing game for the team. We ain't got a chance, so just chuck it.
That brings up a couple of Twitter questions, Gim.
Yeah, of course.
From Ahmed, our mate in Egypt, who I've currently got a thing of Egyptian strawberries, and they're not ripe. They're coming back first class. He says, should we throw the second leg of the Champions League, i.e. Geoff, Iwobi and co? And Akib says, would you take a full-strength team to the new camp?
No, I wouldn't take a full-strength team. Yes, we should send the kids.
Yeah, I agree.
Job done.
Anyone disagree?
No, not
he
really.
won't, though. Even though he came out after the game and he admitted that Barcelona are practically through.
I do think, though, if I could just say that the one highlight of the game for me, which made me piss myself, was Ozil having verbals with Dani Alves, who fouled him and told him to F off. So Ozil told him, you can fuck off. He said, you can remember back to the World Cup semi-final before you start mouthing off.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, and that's apparently why Alves went mental.
Lovely. Got two other quick questions with Barcelona, both on the same sort of thing. El Primero, which is _ Heisenbergkamp, which is a wonderful username, and the Chennai Guna at Gunnar Kanth. Say, how hard is it not to repeat the same naive mistakes over and over again? Are we ever going to have a really experienced team? And Chennai Guna says, why is it that we are always end up being naive after looking strong and dominant for the majority of the game, i.e. Barcelona? So there you go. I don't know how to answer them. Big time bottlers, I think that's what it is. And the referees letting dirty, cheating, diving shitbags get away with everything. I mean, how the hell Barcelona didn't get a booking until the 85th minute? But then what were you telling me, Steve? What did he do, PK?
Apparently there was a signal from the bench from Luis Enrique, who was stood there looking like a train spotter, telling him to get booked so that he could miss the next game against Arsenal, which is a dead rubber, because obviously if he got a second booking he might miss the quarter-final. Otherwise, so he chopped down Welbeck and got booked.
Just quickly, did you notice? Maybe if none of them went to the game, I was looking at the Barcelona bench all the second half, see what they was doing. Every time, so Enrique was on the line, and every time he come off the bench, his assistant went up on the line. That was just every 3 or 4 minutes, kept on changing. There was always somebody on the line giving out instructions. I just thought it was amazing. It was amazing. Enrique would come and sit down on the touchline a minute, and then his assistant would go up there and give instructions. It was amazing just watching it.
So never to make sure that always about having someone to shout at them and rile the referee and make sure dive, roll, dive, pike. They're shitbags. Right, Gim, where are we up to now?
That's it. If that's all the Barcelona questions, all I have got is a prediction for Manchester United away and Wednesday's game against Swansea City. So I will require predictions from all of you for both of those games. First of all, I'll go for the Man United game. I'm going to go 2-0 Alexis. And for the Swansea game, I'm going to go again 2-0, but go with Ozil. Danny, your prediction, please.
Going to beat Man United 2-1 Welbeck, and going to beat Swansea 3-0 with a weakened side Welbeck again.
Wonderful. Geoff?
Now I've got to be careful here because I know that I'm top of the league on his predictions.
Only by 4 points.
Yeah, but is it by 4 points, Dan? Yeah. Who's second? Raj.
Yeah, he predicted a loss on the Barcelona. You predicted a draw.
I predicted a loss as well, didn't I? So that's more points. I'm catching you up, Jeffrey.
So I've got to be. I'm still going to go for it though, mate. I'm not going to be put off my game just because I've got a load of whippersnappers.
I can smell what you had for breakfast, Jeffrey. I'm coming.
Yeah, mate. I think we'll beat United 2-1. I reckon I'm going to go for Alexis to score the goal. Swansea, I fancy 2-0. Danny Welbeck.
Wonderful stuff. And finally,
Giroud is long and gone as far as you're concerned by the goals.
The days of 2-0 Giroud are over.
I can't even remember them. I
should really change my tactics because he's got me there and all this way. So really.
No, you can change it.
Jeff.
You can change it.
Yeah, it's unofficial. That's right.
And Steve can do the listeners one for these two shows.
Well, bearing in mind that I know that Martial was injured because he injured himself in the warm-up tonight. And David De Gea may not be fit as well. I fancy us to win 3-0 at United. Ooh. I think the first scorer will be Welbeck. I think Swansea in the past have been a pain in the arse against Arsenal. And it all depends on how our dearest ex-esteemed Morris Dancing goalie decides to perform. And this winger that is also a right pain in the arse up one side, whose name always escapes me, the South American fellow. Montero. So I reckon that would be 2-1, and I think that first scorer there will be Giroud.
Wonderful.
Oh, back in the goals. Good to see.
I should say as well, I should give a nod to the resident injury specialist of the podcast, Dom, who predicted that Barcelona would beat us 10-1, who actually, funnily enough, got more points than Geoff for this week.
12-1, he said.
Oh, do you know? I think there's something wrong with it.
There's something wrong with that, mate. How can he get more points than me? But by predicting a score like that.
Technically, you got it right though, Geoff. Called it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Called it. Right then. All that's left then is our shout out. Again, I'm going to go first, and I'm going to go for @Robbie Lynch, and that's ROBBIE_LYNCH16. and basically, he's just started. He listens to the podcast, and he's just started a new job, and he's on the same team as my lovely other half, Kate. And he's listened since the Steve Bolds days. Danny, you might have seen me chatting to him on DM.
Nope.
And I'm aware that he also had a birthday, so Kate tells me this week. So, as one of our long-time listeners and someone that Kate personally knows from work, I'd like to give him the shout out on the show and wish you all the best, Robbie.
It's Fife's birthday today.
Is it? How old is
He's 102. It's his 5th birthday this year.
Is he playing? He's probably
What do you get?
he's probably out playing the biscuit game somewhere, isn't he?
No, he's off playing for Eton Boys tonight.
Play croquet.
Rub down in the showers. Lemons at half time. Pim's at full time, and we'll all sit down on the deck chairs with a wood burner. Danny, your shout out, please.
Mine's going to go to Peter, who is at Gooner1947. He's just given me some stuff on my website that I'm updating with all my Arsenal stats and history, and he went and told me to add the Tony Adams doing Desert Island Discs. So that is now, there's a link to that on the website as well as the Merson meets Tony Adams, which is an hour and a half or an hour and 20 minutes podcast, so that's on there that I did with Sky. So yeah, cheers Peter. He said some nice things to say, but there again, he's just a nice bloke.
Indeed he is. Steve?
Yeah, my shout out goes to Wayne, who is at Wayno, WANO AFC64. Him and I were discussing earlier on this week that we may well give Ozil a taser to liven Walker up a bit. And then we came up with the idea that Peter Cech could have one of those extending dog leads to attach to Mertesacker to stop the fucker going over the halfway line. So, yeah, Wayne's been very funny this week, so shout out to Wayne.
Very good. And Geoff, to wrap it up.
Yeah, my shout out goes to a good lad called James Doyle. His at DOYLE. Y100, so it's Doyley 100. I had a great pleasure of sitting with his father at the Barcelona game. Now, his father's been watching Arsenal from forever. He saw the 71 double team, the White Hart Lane game, the Man United game when we won the league. He's been to all them games, and what a wealth of experience he had. I tried to get him on Twitter, but he's just, I think he's back in the dark ages, unfortunately. But what a lovely gentleman he is, I tell you.
Very good. Right, so all that's left then is to thank my lovely panellists tonight, just the two of you, Steve and Geoff. Thank you so much for joining me. Danny, shut the fuck up. You have to be here.
You have to be here. You shut the fuck up.
Okay, I will do then. Right, I better call Kate then, so she can escort me back to the kitchen from my chair. Right, so that was a Bergkamp Wonderland podcast. Thank you so much for listening.
It sounded like a Bergkamp Wonderland podcast brought to you by Care in the Community, but it sounds like.
It was.
It probably is.
It's basically, right, she's going to escort me down to the kitchen from the bedroom, because this is where I record the podcast, in the bedroom, just to make sure I'm not racist to anybody along the way. Because I think that's an important thing. One can't be racist at home or indeed in a football ground.
No, or meeting George Galloway or taking a clump off the member of the herd on the way out.
So I think that's an important message on one that...
for little kiddies listening.
Yes. Basically, don't
Careful
make
what you say.
any homosexual connotations towards anybody else.
No, it's wrong.
It's wrong. It is wrong. And after all,
nice.
there's nothing wrong with being gay. I'm proud of the Gay Gooners and the great job they do within the Arsenal community. And
what about all the insults that you give the Welsh day in, day out?
They don't count.
No, they don't count.
Unless it's Mr. Davis, and you have to be careful,
I
Mr.
think
Davis.
we should send, what's his name? Is it, what's this
Jason?
new bloke? No, this new bloke off the AFTV, the bloke that looks like a fat Yaz out of the 80s, Heavy D or whatever it is. I think we should send him round to Gimli to sort him out a bit with the boot.
Do you know, seriously, if he came and knocked on my door, I'd bundle him in the back.
We haven't finished the pod yet.
No, I would take him down the back of the car, right, and I would just take him down the vets, because seriously, that cunt needs to be put down. Do you see that video? What an abortion on society that was. Seriously.
I found out his old rapper name is Heavy Double D.
Have you seen the Away Boys new video?
Yes,
oh Christ! Yeah, that's appalling. He looks like he's escaped out of the U-Tree inquiry.
Oh,
Oh, Geoff, yeah.
Quick, Gimli, wrap this up
Oh.
before we say something offensive.
This is like the added Easter egg. So that was a Bergkamp Wonderland podcast.
Don't
We're
make
all
any
off-
more fucking songs, you lot, unless it's like Gunnerblog Stormzy one, which is good.
Yes, no more songs. It's embarrassing. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast tonight. Good night.
Ta-da.
Anyway, right, that fucking wingnut cunt.
So
It would have
some
taken a
reason to stop us.
superhuman result to go. Personally, I
You'd
think
have had
we
to have gone there and shot all the officials before the game. That's the only fucking way you'd have won it.
or bribed them.
No, they love a bribe.
Oh yeah.
They're already in the pockets of Barcelona.
So yeah.
How did they
Probably
not get booking?
collect the money and fuck you over.
They didn't get a booking to the 85th minute, Barcelona.
unreal.
That was because Pete was told to get booked.
PK
That's
was
right.
he?
Yeah. It was, yeah.
Because if he missed the next game against Arsenal, it's a dead rubber, isn't it? They don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But if he'd got booked in
Oh,
the
is that
second
what they
game,
were shouting at him? Go and get booked.
go and get booked. Cause that's why he took down
Was it Hector or was it Welbeck?
Welbeck, I think. That's why he did it, because then he won't miss the quarter final.
I did hear that. I heard them shouting, and I didn't realise what it was for. I was just annoyed. Well, annoyed they were cheating. I'm glad we can out though and concentrate on doing the double now.
I'm just pissed off we didn't maim a few of the cunts. Just for the sake.
Like I said, I think it might turn out to be a bit of a. I think he should take the kids over there, play against Barca. Focus on the league. I mean, look, we're not going to go over there and get a result.
Not gonna beat
Geese's
them
just
3-0.
crossed. Geese's just crossed the ball in there. It's gone practically Goodison Park and fucking back again. It's gone so far out of play.
Again, when we do the loan watch,
Yeah.
add into there an injury update. There's only like 4 players to mention. I'll just go Wilshere 3 weeks, Santi 2 weeks, and like that. Just so one more bit to add on. But this,
Okay.
I've got a little bit of info on the women's season, which is starting soon. Because some people like that, just like.
And it's Man United away is the next game. I'm literally just closing out the show now. See, the thing is, it's a bad week because Hull wasn't a piss poor game. It's just we couldn't finish our dinner. And then Barcelona is just, I don't think anyone expected the world from that either. So the bulk of this podcast is going to be Twitter questions.
No, I don't know. I think there's some. I think there's
we
some
can have a
positives
chat.
to take from Barcelona, and I think also that there's some questions that arise above certain players' heads, or whether or not they actually should stay at Arsenal or stay in the squad, and who's sort of like over who in the queue. There's a lot of things to talk about there. Plus, also as well, I mean, if you're Man United and you're Spurs, watching us go toe to toe with Barcelona for 71 minutes, and having 3 or 4 good chances, you might not be feeling so fucking clever about your chances against us either. Because if we can perform like that against United and Spurs, we'll smash the cunts. As long as we can finish.
Yeah,
As long as the Ox isn't 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper.
There's plenty to talk about.